Officials tell us these tunnels come all the way out to the street where we're standing now. And this single-engine prop plane took off from Tipton Airfield near Fort Meade. Investigators say cell phone GPS records prove otherwise. In fact, you can see the cargo van parked in a driveway about 100 yards from where we're standing right now. Its front driver's side window appearing to be shattered. And here is some of the debris that's now scattered across this area. You can see bark, hay, sticks. We spoke with a manager of this construction site. He told us he's warned his workers ad nauseum not to park in this lot. This portion of Clinton, Maryland has become militarized. You could probably hear a government helicopter flying overhead. And prosecutors add there is also a tax evasion component to this criminal case. Because the fire broke out at 1:30 in the afternoon, many people were not at home. A saving grace, no doubt. This camera was built to look like simple car keys. John Havermel has hired a defense attorney and is no longer speaking with investigators about his wife's mysterious death. Protesters, they picked Lafayette Square today as it sits in the shadow of the White House. Kickoff against the Vancouver Whitecaps is set for 8 o'clock, and we'll be here beside the field to capture all of it for you. I definitely lucked out with this assignment, though. Take a look. We got Darth Vader here. He's one of like 50 costume characters. No word, however, Allison, as to what this dispute was all over.
All right, Kevin Lewis live from Germantown. Thank you.
It just makes my heart hurt.
A makeshift memorial is growing outside the shuttered Capital Gazette newsroom. A newspaper sits atop a reporter's notepad. A handwritten card thanks reporters. Colorful flowers bringing light to this dark story.
Mr. Ramos is alleged to have executed a brutal series of attacks on innocent victims.
Today, prosecutors revealed Jared Ramos barricaded the Gazette's back exit and then snuck into the 4-story Annapolis office building. Ramos allegedly fired into the newspaper's glass-enclosed lobby. Surveillance cameras captured much of the ambush. 5 killed, 2 others injured. Ramos found hiding underneath a desk.
There was one victim that had attempted to escape through the back door and was shot at that point.
Ramos has resided at this Laurel apartment complex for the last 17 years. He lived alone and has no kids. Ramos did earn a bachelor's degree in computer science. During jail intake, he professed to have no history of mental illness or substance abuse.
You hear about it constantly, but for it to be this close.
Jennifer Myers visited the shooting scene to help process her own emotions.
Luckily, our very good friend is still with us, and he's devastated. He's a reporter at the Capitol. You know, I think everybody's just trying to cope and deal at this point.
Well, authorities say Jared Ramos had an escape plan, but it was thwarted by a rapid police response. Today, the judge denied bond, while the 38-year-old sat silent and stoic. We're live in Annapolis. I'm Kevin Lewis, ABC 7 News.
Piss me off. Piss me off.
Javier Peralta facing jail time.
This is ridiculous.
After police confiscated 33 Chihuahua-type dogs from his Ford Expedition while parked at an Aspen Hill apartment complex.
I just said, oh my God, I can't believe there are this many dogs in this one vehicle.
Animal control officers recall the vehicle's hoarding conditions, hot temps, and potent scent.
It was extremely unsanitary, and it was a very, very bad smell of urine and feces in the car.
That's just not a reasonable amount of space for those dogs.
Jack Breckenridge charged Peralta with 33 counts of animal cruelty. Many of the dogs were gaunt and diseased. One, a 4-month-old puppy, had to be euthanized. Others had metal, plastic, and trash in their stomachs.
They were starving to death, and they were willing to try to eat anything they could get access to satiate that hunger.
Metal and trash? There was no way. There was no way. It's starving to death.
That's what authorities say.
Well, that's what they say.
Yet Peralta claims he provided exceptional care, feeding, even sleeping with all 33 Chihuahuas. The Wheaton resident considered them emotional support animals following a ladder accident that required back surgery.
I was going through a lot, still going through a lot.
And as for the filthy Ford, Peralta explains he'd been evicted for failing to pay rent and was searching for a new home.
That day I was moving. My friend invited me to his house. The door was fine. I left water and the thing. Come on, I love this dog.
In Montgomery County, I'm Kevin Lewis, ABC 7 News.
There's no other program exactly like ours.
For 47 years,
March 19th, 1970 was the first medevac.
Maryland State Police have used state-owned helicopters to whisk critically injured patients to trauma centers.
You have where the pilot sits, so the cockpit of the aircraft.
Sergeant Adam Davies works at Aviation Command Washington on Joint Base Andrews. This is one of 7 hangars across Maryland, housing these $12 million flying hospitals.
The majority of what we get is a lot of the car crashes, accident scenes, but we also do shootings, stabbings. We fly heart attack patients, stroke patients.
$47,000, that's ridiculous.
It's definitely going to cripple us financially.
It's very stressful worrying about it.
I don't have the money to give them.
Last year, ABC 7 called attention to the exorbitant cost of many private medevacs in states like Virginia and Pennsylvania. We found in some cases a short yet critical chopper ride can strap patients with a bill of up to $55,000, often barely covered by insurance.
The litter rotates out.
However, a ride in a Maryland State Police chopper is free for all patients. The aviation unit's $42 million annual budget primarily funded through a $13.50 tax paid when Marylanders registered their vehicle each year.
The benefit of our program is that you're never going to receive a bill from the state police, whether it be a medevac mission, a law enforcement mission, search and rescue, it doesn't matter.
You're good. All right, bye.
We were there as Trooper 2 received a mission.
Got it? You got the digits? All right, let's go.
2 pilots and 2 medics suit up, inspect the chopper, trigger its engines, and then launch. In this case, for a 67-year-old man who'd fallen from a tree.
There are currently 153 knots at 1,050 feet, and their estimated time of arrival is 3 minutes.
Dispatchers then monitor the crew's progress in real time. This, a successful bipartisan form of socialized medicine in the shadows of a divisive capital. At Joint Base Andrews.
It's awesome.
I'm Kevin Lewis.
I get to save lives every single day we come to work.
ABC 7 News.